Hello. Haven't seen you in a while. Sorry about that. Life just kind of got busy. For context, the following episode was recorded on the 4th of May. I'm aware that was a while ago. Sorry for taking so long. Just, time flies and we have things on. I started a new YouTube channel called ALD Presents. You'll find it, I'll probably have it linked somewhere below, where I talk about movies and stuff. So if you want more regular content, go over there. Ari got very busy with her new job, which you'll find out about. And I also had uni stuff, so it just kind of piled up. So sorry about that, but we're back. Maybe. Either way, the episode is coming out. So, all good. Sorry. Goodbye. On with the show. Hello everyone, my name is Rosenkrantz and this is Guildenstern and we are very much still alive.
Just kidding, it's Aaron and Ari here. Welcome back to another episode of a podcast where two theatre people who are fairly unqualified in theatreness talk theatre.
It's been a hot second, hasn't it?
It's been a hot minute.
Sorry about that.
Hot 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah,
which doesn't seem like very long.
Than
No,
2
it's
weeks.
been 2 weeks. It's been
Really?
2 weeks. Yeah, because I remember hassling you for 2 weeks about making sure we put up something on Instagram just to
wow.
make sure we weren't non-existent.
Okay,
Well, 2
yeah.
weeks, maybe 3.
It's felt like a long,
So it's
long
been
day.
longer than we anticipated it being. We had no intention necessarily to leave it this long. We did know we would be out for a week or so, but
Yeah.
then a whole bunch of things
Started piling up.
Aaron ended up in ISO for 18 days because of a series of unfortunate events regarding transmission of the
household
COVID.
contacts and then no contacts and then day of freedom and then no longer more freedom and then there's a whole thing.
So yeah, we didn't get to see each other for 18 days, so nothing could really happen, and we weren't about to do another Zoom episode.
No.
And then Aaron's in the process of moving house.
Yes, I'm moving house. Ari got a new job.
I got a new job.
And we also had a show on.
And we had a show on which closed on Sunday.
Yes.
So
a lot of things have been going on.
It's been
And
a
I've also been
hectic
getting
few
towards the
weeks.
end of uni and things are starting to ramp up. I'm working on the short film that I have to do for uni as well.
And I'm newly full-time,
Yes.
which is a fun discovery.
Wait, nearly. You pretty much are.
No, newly. I
Oh,
said
newly.
newly.
Sorry,
I
you said
haven't been
nearly
full-time. I
full-time.
was 4 days a week, and now I'm the full 5 shebang.
Full
So-
shebang. But we're back and we're bigger than ever. If you're one of our Spotify listeners and you're looking down and you're like, oh wow, this episode is remarkably longer than usual, it's because for the first time we're not going to split it anymore, mainly because I don't want to edit it anymore.
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's the fact that our content is relevant regardless of the length. So
And we thought we'd bless the Spotify listeners because this is the 10th episode of our video podcast. If I've done that correctly, maybe
and I'm
it
pretty
isn't.
sure it might be close to our 50th on... Wait, no.
Oh, true, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to
Yeah,
our 50th
happy-
on Spotify.
happy
But we could
50th.
be wrong. It may not be nearly... It may not be.
There's a lot of extra bonus episodes and everything.
So,
that
you know,
that's
I'm doing
coming
the
around.
maths here
Either
or
way,
Happy something.
happy something, and as a celebration and as an apology for being gone for so long, we're blessing you all with extra content. Which is just the episode that it would have been now available on audio platforms. So thank you.
Yeah, I think also mainly because there was a point where we realized we were kind of trying to like end content for Spotify, and then we'd end up like tracing back and talking about it in the YouTube anyway. And we're like, oh,
Whoops.
like why are we even splitting this up? Like all of our content is relevant to some extent, and there's no point in making it weird and half. Anyway.
Yeah, but we'll still probably talk about our theatre stuff earlier on. So if that's kind of what you're mainly listening for, it'll always be at the start, and then we'll kind of keep going off on tangents and things as we continue to talk, and maybe also circle back to things. Listen to the whole episode, but if you're like, where's the theatre stuff? We'll try and get to that spick span straight away.
Sure, that's what we will do.
Try
So tell us about what theatre stuff's
Well,
going on.
not today. I don't know what we're doing.
Oh,
well,
I mean,
I don't know. We've been
we
just doing
did
a show. Yeah, which has
it
been
went
fun.
pretty well.
Yes.
We had a good time, had fun on stage. There was a few hiccups here and there. We had one major tech fallout where the
we can talk
technology
about that,
decided
right?
to just completely stop working for a hot second. So the second half had music, songs, choreography, etc. And about 2 songs into the second half, it just decided it wasn't going to play anymore.
Just
So we had no songs. I think our cast covered for it marvelously well.
I think so too.
I would have been sweating bullets if I was the one on stage when the audio cut out. I don't know what I would have done.
Yep.
But yeah, massive
props to the
Props to the people that had to deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was just off stage.
silently panicking.
Silently panicking and with everyone else.
Yeah,
who
I haven't had
wasn't
like
there.
that kind of adrenaline rush in a performance in a very, very long time. We finished the show and everyone was like, oh, and I was
Yeah.
just smiling and I couldn't stop smiling because I was like, oh man, that was so much fun. And you know, nobody ever wants that to happen,
No.
ever. But on those small chances when that does happen, and you know, your instincts kick in and the adrenaline starts to rush, and it's that high that we chase as performers,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh yes, this is what I do this for.
Yeah,
It's
see,
so
I
that
don't
I have
know.
to fix
I
everything.
don't know if that's why I do it. I
Yeah.
get an adrenaline rush enough on the end at the like after performances without like
Yeah.
a million technical issues. Like I go home and can't sleep for the next 2
You go
hours
safe.
just because I'm still like recovering from having
Yeah.
I think it's an introvert thing. I've decided that like when I perform, I'm like buzzing for the next 2 hours because I'm not used to being in front of that many people or talking to that many people
Interesting,
for
yeah.
such a long time that there's just like a period where I have to like diffuse and turn back to like my like go back into my little shell.
Yeah.
Like because I've been so much out here and I'm never like so much out there until I'm on stage, and then literally like I will not be able to sleep no
Wow.
matter how exhausted I am. Like we could get back like even after like the after party I got back at like early hours of the morning. We're talking like 3-4 a.m. and I still couldn't sleep for the best part of 2 hours.
Yeah, wow.
Because I needed to like sit there and just like decompress from all the humans.
Yeah, I noticed that on Monday when I went into class after the last performance and the after party, and I was still in that mode where I was like speaking in class as if I was like just sitting around a table with performers and all on stage, and I was like, I need to like put my hand up when I want to speak and not just
Excuse me.
blurt out stuff randomly. And I
yeah.
was like, I'd go to say something and be like, oh no, I probably shouldn't say that. And just like, this is a learning environment, and I'm not here to crack jokes and have a laugh. So yeah, I get it. Sometimes you gotta get yourself out of that acting mindset, and it gets difficult, especially like since there's that whole method acting thing, right? And like continuing outside of the space. And I'm always very much like a person who goes, well, we're professionals. We come and we do our job, and at the end of the day, we stop doing our job, and not to like harm anyone else, because people can't distinguish the difference between when you're working and when you're not. I think it's a bit weird. It's like Jared Leto in the new Morbius movie apparently pretended to be disabled between takes because his character has, problems with walking. And I was like, why? What are you doing? What are you like? All happens and is your castmates going, are you right? Like,
Right, mate?
Like once the scene starts, fine. But like, you're not helping the immersion because everyone's just sitting around eating lunch looking at like dailies and stuff.
It's interesting because I definitely think I can definitely see the merit for some people. And I've definitely talked to people who do use a more method acting approach, if you will, but I just feel like it'd be so miserable all the time because I don't get joy out of the parts I play. I get joy out of the experience playing those parts. Like,
Ooh, that's a
I
good way
don't
to
get
put it.
any joy out of playing, like, I don't get joy out, like, let's say I'm playing an angry role. I don't get the joy out of the, like, being angry in the role. I get the joy out of the freedom to be angry. So the experience of being angry.
Yeah.
So I would never actively be angry and then maintain. Let's say I was playing an absolute like bitch. Can I say that on this thing? Like I'm we'll bleep that if we can't. Like I'm playing this mean character and I'm like yelling constantly. I don't know. And then between takes, I had to maintain that. Like I would get no joy out of that because it's not like the whole point. I enjoy being like doing something that's not me and then coming back and being like, "Hi, it's okay, it's me. I would never say anything mean."
It's like in a safe space as well, where like you know that when you're acting in that way, you're not physically attacking anyone. 'Cause it's all in that environment of the fake. But once it leaves that, you start getting into territories of, oh, well, you're just a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, what the heck?
Yeah.
And it's a very Meisner is very into that whole idea of like separate yourself. Like once the take's over, it's done. Go home, be happy. You're never gonna hang on to any of those like sad, angry, hostile feelings. Once you're done, you've done your work. You go home, you come back, and you do it again, kind of thing. It's a rinse and repeat. Whereas like Stan the Man would be very much like method.
That's Konstantin Stanislavski for those listening who aren't fairly qualified in theatre. I just thought you'd heavily say Stan the Man, and I'm like, there's going to be people who have no idea what you're talking about.
A theorist who focuses, the main guy for method acting, would be like, hang on to all those deep, dark emotions.
Bottle them up inside.
Sit with them at night over a cup of tea. Like, don't do that. Have a cup of tea.
Yep.
Don't sit with the dark emotions.
Enjoy
Not worth
a nice
it.
cup of tea.
Anyway, so that's where we've been at. We've just finished a show.
Yes.
I've just started a new job.
Yes.
It's in the dramatic arts department kind of side
Yes.
of life, which is very exciting. So it's well on track to where I want to go in the future. I'm getting to work a lot more with creative-y things and build stuff and do all the things that are fun.
Yeah, so I mean, like it's I think really it's a cool opportunity. I'm happily speaking for you now.
No,
But you're
speak for me.
But it's like it's cool because it's like you're at this point now where you're ready to take that next step into a more hands-on theatrical thing, and this is like almost like a cheat code way to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Without having to do all the difficult work of like auditioning regularly and stuff like that, and you can still do all
Yeah.
of those things, which is really great.
Keeping
But
in mind,
you're
this is
also-
not an acting job.
No,
I'm
no, of
not
course not.
acting as part of it. It's primarily like production kind of
Admin.
things and admin and stuff, which is really, really like still valid. But what it will give me, I think, is connections, and that's what I'm looking for at the moment. I can still do all my acting on the side, but I have this like ability to also just work in a place that's on like in the creative field, because like prior to this, like in saying that, I'm still keeping my other jobs. I'm currently working 2 jobs, hence the full-time part. But
2 part-times.
2 part-time jobs equals 1 full-time job. But the other part-time job obviously has nothing to do with theatre, has nothing to do with the creative arts. It's just it's the job I had through all of high school, all of uni, basically.
Yep.
So that while it's fulfilling and while I love the people there, it's not like a good next step for career. Whereas this one's finally like I'm finally going somewhere where it's like, ooh, stepping stones towards the future.
But most importantly, are you enjoying it?
I am.
That's the
I am.
main
I
thing.
have only been in it for 2 weeks now. This is week 2, I
Still
think.
on the honeymoon phase.
So I'm still in that place where I'm like, it's good, but also at the same time, I'm in the phase where it's probably going to be the worst it'll
Sure,
be in
good
terms
point.
of learning everything. Like there's all the like the tech side of it that I like, getting up my computer all set up and things and access to stuff and administration and stuff that I haven't really like had to do lots of. Things like communication and stuff like that, where I have to talk to people and answer phones and stuff as the socially awkward introvert that I am, is a very challenging thing. But I'm
Calling
getting
people
really
on the phone.
I'm getting really comfortable with it. And I finally kind of gotten over the initial fear of picking up a phone and being like, "Hi, it's me," and not saying "Hi, it's me," and actually having quite an eloquent customer service voice. Not that job's customer service, but there has to be an element of
I remember I used to work at
presentation.
reception. When I worked at reception, I'd always have to pick up the phone with the thing that you say. And there was 2 moments where outside of work hours, somebody called me and I picked up the phone and instinctively just did like my spiel that I have to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry, I'm tired right now and I've just gone into
It's just Aaron.
instinct mode. It's just me. What's up? This isn't a voicemail.
I was talking to someone the other day who works 2 customer service jobs, and they're at very different like places, and one of them's at like a little retail store, and the other one's the sick bay at a nurse's at a school. And I was like, imagine picking up the phone, like which is worse, like picking up the phone as like a sick bay as a retail store, or picking up the phone as a retail store at the sick bay. Like,
What do you want?
my child is it's, "Hi, it's Kmart. How can I help you?" What?
I don't think we have those.
Anyway,
But it's
so
been nice
that's in me.
performing. Good for you.
No, good for Ari.
Good for Ari. It's good new things to do, but of course, then that also makes it less busy. But
More busy?
Yes, that's
Makes
what I'm
it
trying
more
to say.
busy?
More busy, yes.
We've had a day today. Let's just begin. So the first thing that happened is I went to put up this poster. I put it up upside down.
Yes.
Good start. And then I proceeded to tell Aaron, because I realized he was renting house. I was like, "Oh, is it okay blue tacking it to the wall?" Except I didn't say blue tacking. I said there's what did I say? Bluetooth.
You said Bluetooth. Can I Bluetooth this to the wall?
Can I Bluetooth this to the wall?
Which is a very tech progressive thing for you to say, because like I was like, oh, is she gonna like attach her phone to like a Bluetooth projector and reach it to the wall? I'm like, that's really cool. I didn't know you knew how to do that.
But really, my brain was just on a completely different planet. So
Yeah.
we've been.
Yeah, and well, I've been moving out. We're new location.
Yeah.
I don't know if it looks different. It probably
I mean,
doesn't.
the
I've tried
beanbags
to
are a
make
bit
it look
different. I don't
similar.
have a
True.
sticker of
I forgot.
a beanbag.
I happily gave you a nothing, and I get the whole.
I got a little cuddly arm thing, and he gets
But
the
to
big
be honest,
beanbag.
I did say if you want to bring the beanbag, you can.
But it doesn't fit in my car. It's so big, and I have a little tiny car. It would have fit. I
It
would have
fit in the back
It would have
seat of your
just
car,
been
almost
shoved
certainly.
in, and
Yeah,
it would have
true.
looked weird. And
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I don't want to diss the beanbag chairs, but this one is remarkably uncomfortable. There's not enough beans in it. It's very unbeansy.
yeah.
But anyway.
So I mean,
fine.
I like the floor. I sit on the floor
Yeah.
anyway all the time.
We're floor gang.
Floor gang. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
Tell us about uni. What's
Yes,
going
so
on there?
So towards the end of uni now, and I've spoken about working on the short film that I've been doing, and it's been a logistical nightmare because
Quite literally.
the 2 weeks that I was in isolation for were going to be the 2 weeks that we were going to be filming, and then we didn't film because something happened. You know, the funniest thing happened in Bo Burnham's words, and I couldn't leave the house.
Imagine that. Imagine being stuck inside. Ooh, look at that. I made like a
there you go.
segue. Can you put that in the edit so that they know that
What do you mean? How do I put that in the edit?
You just put Bo Burnham's inside there when I said inside.
Okay, there you go. Boom. To our audio listeners, Bo Burnham's inside. Because we have to remember that now because we have audio listeners throughout the whole thing that we can't just rely on people having seen us. But thank you, audio listeners. We
they should just come to
the
YouTube land. Just do it. You know, why don't you just watch both? Oh, cooler idea. Why don't you watch the YouTube and then put the Spotify on in the background? Just for fun. You know, when you're cleaning the house.
You have the YouTube video with an identical Spotify audio track playing at the same time. Probably a little bit out of sync because it's very hard to put those two things in at the same time. It's not like the YouTube video doesn't have audio.
That's all for the views.
But anyway. To watch everything multiple times, refresh the pages, get that engagement up. But anyway, so I was stuck inside and I wasn't able to film anything. And so then the week after that, the theater that we were meant to film in, but we were meant to film in the theater. The theater that we were meant to film in, I don't know if you figured that out through context clues, but anyway, suddenly was no longer available. And I was like, uh-oh.
What
am I going to do? So I emailed around.
What am I going to do?
Oh no, oopsie. And so I quickly emailed everyone to so many different places to be like, help. I need space.
You just sent an email. The subject line was help.
Says help, but I'm like, yo, can I please come into your place and film things? And got no reply for like a good solid week. And then a week afterwards, I got one reply back being like, sorry for the late reply. No. I was like, great. So we had to rework that whole idea. Ari was meant to be in it, which was the whole thing, and with other people as well. But turns out trying to get 4 people into a space at the same time is really difficult.
Considering we can't even get to a space, into a space together for longer than like an hour without one of us having something else on. I don't know how you do it with 4 people. With 2 of those people.
Because in my brain, I just thought this is going to be such an easy project. We just need 4 people in a space, and we'll film it in 3 hours, and it'll be done. Nope. My other idea, which was the Santa Claus idea, which I have spoken about in this podcast before, about, what does the Santa Claus guy goes Santa do in the other 11 months of the year? And I was like, that would be so easy because I didn't need to interview a person who is a Santa Claus, and that doesn't take anything at all. And I was like, oh no, that will be harder because it's going to be so hard to find someone. So we'll just do this idea. It's so much easier getting 4 people into a theater and having them act. Yes. So anyway, past Aaron is an idiot. So eventually we were able to reform the idea. I just basically rewrote the whole thing, tossed my poor creative partner's idea to the curb, and redid it all, and then sent it to her being like, this is the new one. What do you think? And she was like, yeah, I guess that'll work. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Because I was saying this whole year, I was like, I can't get stuck inside during this point of time. It will be literally the worst for me to get it now. That, of course, the life is a cruel person.
Calm as a bitch.
And they are very mean to me. So anyway, long story short, we're on track. Ari is no longer in it. And neither...
I just got culled.
And neither of the other 3 people, all 4 people, and the theater, we've just gone, nope.
Don't need him. Don't want him.
We're redoing it, and I'm gonna be in it.
Starring Aaron, of course,
Starring
naturally.
Me, because this was my plan from the beginning.
Yeah.
Was to try and convince, my creative partner to make an idea about other people, and then at the last minute pull the rug from underneath and be like, joke's on you, this is a piece about me.
Sounds about right.
So, oh no! Jonah was not meant to have me in it. Oh, well. But yes, so on track now, but all of the other assignments are also piling up. Because of that 2-week period,
Piling up.
Yeah, I didn't do anything, and then suddenly, the week after that, I was moving, I had a show on, I had 2 assignments due, I had to figure out all the film stuff. And I was like, uh-oh. At least I had 2 weeks of nothing. Well, it wasn't of nothing, but anyway. So I'll talk about that, I guess, because you've happily given your ISO story, and I haven't
far
done
away.
anything now that
Aaron's
I've done
ISO
mine.
stories.
It was a long time ago, so I've had time to reflect.
Once upon a time, in a far-off land, about 25-minute drive from where we are currently.
25 isn't that far away. It's like a 10-minute drive.
A 10-minute drive from where we are currently.
Yeah.
Aaron's ISO began.
My ISO
on
began
a gloomy
Saturday. I
morning.
was meant to film something that day, and then I had to cancel because I wasn't able to come in because I was a close contact. I know I have a problem, and I'm happily saying this with you in the room. So I want to see the look on your face when I say that I have a problem in terms of taking on too much stuff. Yeah, there we go. Of the two of us, I am not the worst at this, but
Collectively, we make a bad pair.
yes, true. I think we both have a problem where we'll just.
I don't know how to say no.
Yes, we don't know how to take
you
times
struggle
off.
to say no.
Yes. Yeah, I struggle very hard.
So
and
between us, having one that struggles and one that can't, we collectively struggle to not. So
yeah.
it's a struggle.
We are neither of us are very good at giving ourselves time off, ever.
Who's she?
Yeah.
Never met her.
Never met her. So I was always in the back of my head, and also out loud saying, isolation will be nice because it'll force me to have time
That's
off.
what I said.
Yeah, because it'll be like
Till I sunk into deep dark despair.
yeah, same. Well, don't spoil my story.
Sorry.
But it's almost as if the world is saying you have to stop just for a week. Don't do anything. And of course, my week turned into 18 days. And so on the first day, I was like, great, now I can do all those things that I
have never seen Aaron more invested in finishing stuff and doing stuff. I think I got a text the morning of your ISO being like, so I've got all these plans. When are you free? We're going to have a chat. I want to do this. I want to film this. I'm going to write this. I'm going to do that. This. Let me know if you have anything else you want me to work on or get out. I might do my own podcast episode. I think you offered that immediately.
I did.
You were like, I'll edit. I'm going to edit the 2 videos that haven't come out yet. And I was like, cool.
Yep.
That sounded like me on my first day.
And by 7 p.m. that day, I had done half of those things, all the ones that didn't involve you. And then I was like, I don't have anything else to do. And it was day 1.
And I think
and then it always happens when I make that realization, I go, I could have just done this at any point. I didn't need to have the whole thing where I was just like, well. And then it kind of bummed me out. So I went to bed. I woke up the next day and I was like, I have so much time. And then, of course, you start that process of being like, I'll do it tomorrow.
And you're like, well, I've got 7 days.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I going to do?
That's what I did.
And then you realize how much you actually do like going out of the house. And like, it's something as simple as I wasn't even able to go and get food, That's something I didn't realize how much I needed, like, to just drive somewhere and get something to eat if I didn't want to cook it myself, because I do like to cook for myself, but also, like, it's nice to go out and get some food.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. And I was like, I forgot how much this is contributing to a positive mental health. And so then that happens. And then you just go, hang on. This whole isolation period is not good at all. I just need to figure out how to balance my time better when I'm not stuck inside.
Yeah.
And then, you get worse and worse. And then I kept writing things. And that was the first kind of week and a bit. And then my brother tested positive. And so it became longer.
Extended.
And I was like, great. Well, now I'm stuck here for longer. I guess I have even more time to not do anything. And then it keeps going. And then I got COVID, and I was like, oh, no. And then it became another 7 days. And at that point, I was also sick. So I was like, well, I physically can't.
Well, then he got COVID, and he messaged me and said, I got COVID. And at that point, you'd been pretty low.
Yeah,
so I was like, you're going to be okay. And I was like in pep talk mode. And then you like responded, and you were like real positive. You're like, yeah, it's okay. I've got all these plans. I'm going to do all of these things. Then I have another 7 days. And then like, I think 3 hours later, you messaged, you're like, Ari, not feeling too good.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to be in bed today. And I was like, yeah.
Here I was
rest.
telling you when we did our isolation episode about how you should never pressure yourself to have a productive isolation period.
And there you go. You write like your 7-point bullet points about all the things you're going to get done in the next 7 days. And I was like, you have so much fun with that.
Yep.
And I didn't have the heart to tell you weren't going to do it. It's because I was like,
well,
Aaron,
look,
okay,
I'll be honest.
I'll support
I think I did do a lot of
You
things.
didn't do a lot.
I
You did a lot more than I did.
I
watched the entirety of Friends.
That's fair.
That's a lot of
very
seasons and
determined
episodes.
not to do that. I was just trying
Anything
to.
but
It
Friends.
was honestly more out of I just wanted to spite you by being able to
More
go
productive.
a full 18 days to be like, guess what? I didn't do. I didn't watch any episodes. Of
I didn't do anything other than watch.
Yeah. But I had like a stint where I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when you have time off.
When
And
you have
so
18 days to ponder the
yeah,
meaning
and I
of
was up till like
existence.
4 in the morning looking up like short film grants and like the way in which.
Oh, I remember you messaged it.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, wow, you spiraled.
Yeah, I spiraled real hard. But I honestly think it was
It's
a
a
very
positive
positive spiral, but it was a downward spiral.
It was definitely a spiral.
Yeah, so
Well, it doesn't even have to be downward. It was just a
Wait, true,
spiral
it's a spiral
of a thought spiral where you
yeah,
kind
where
of
I'm like, well,
one of those days
know.
when you go and Google a whole bunch of stuff like about future, like the number of times
Yeah.
I've done that, where it's like, what do I actually want to be?
Yeah.
What do I actually want to do?
Yeah, well, overall, I think it was a positive isolation period.
That's good.
Although it fluctuated.
Yeah,
But it ended on the positive side. I think I did more good things than I did, and I came up with came up with a few really good ideas for shorts that I want to make by the end of the year. Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Emphasis on the hope.
Yes, but yeah, it was not great per se. You're looking at how much time we have left.
I was just curious how long we were
How
going.
long we were going for.
I was also thinking. I was fully
forward.
just thinking about food. I wanted to see what time it was and whether it was a
Did you know
respectable
you did
time.
know?
I did.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
Dessert. I was fully just thinking about at what
okay.
point it was a respectable time to whether or not going home on the way home
To get some
some dessert was a respectable thing
that's
to do
fair.
at this time of night, and it is.
Yeah, it is, of course it is. It's never
So
too late for
I was
dessert.
that was what all I was thinking. I wasn't actually looking at the time of the podcast.
No,
Didn't
that's
care too
fine.
much about that. I figured we were
I
on track.
realized that the laptop. We're all new today. Everything's still messing around. So the laptop is further back than it usually is,
And it
so
doesn't
I
have the
cannot
cool
read.
logo on it either.
Oh, true. Well, you can't.
Because
They
normally
can't
it's
see
my
it.
laptop,
There's
and I have a
little-
cool logo on my laptop, but
True. My one's too far forward.
it's okay.
But that's fine. We did our best. But yes, isolation. To all of you out there who are like us and need someone to tell you to take time off, just take some time off. Do
Or
all
get
the things you
COVID.
need to do. No.
Don't take 7 days. Take a
don't
weekend.
take an hour to do
Yeah.
all the. Because honestly, you'll probably finish most of your stuff if you're as determined as we are to finish things off. You'll do it very quickly.
That's an interesting paradox.
Yes.
How like when you, suddenly have time, and then you like think you needed so much time for something, and then you do it, and it takes way less time.
Yeah.
It does happens literally all the time to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't I do this in every other? But like, I'll have an hour free, and I won't do anything because I'll be like, it's just not enough time to do anything.
Yeah,
So I'll
exactly.
bum around, or I'll make dinner, which is a very useful thing to do. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think maybe it's an attention span thing that we have that now we think in very small terms of time,
Attention span.
and it's more like we're always
Imagine
worried
having
about
one of those.
Yeah, well, I don't watch TikTok because on purpose.
Hey,
because feel like
I
it's gonna
deleted
ruin
TikTok
Good,
because it
I'm glad.
ruined.
Congratulations.
Hey, I deleted it like 3
No,
months
that's
ago.
a good thing. That's a good
Back
thing.
in like March.
No, nothing against TikTok. I think it's a great social media platform. It's just that, like, I know for myself, if I had that thing on my phone, I don't think I would stop for a long time.
Yeah, it
I
was
struggle
very,
enough with some of
very
the other social media
addictive.
apps I use. It's just like constant, and I'm like, I knew I was just gonna get sucked in.
Mm-hmm.
And so to all of you out there, look after your social media mental health.
Or just get a bad TikTok algorithm. That's what I got. It just got boring, and I was like, righto, the
Mine
end.
got pretty bad pretty quickly.
So delete.
You can only look at so many attractive people before you go.
Yeah, or cute dogs. That's one or
fine.
the other.
Oh well, yeah.
Or
actually,
aesthetic
dogs are
meals.
better. Aesthetic meals. I didn't get that.
I got the aesthetic meals.
I should have gotten phone food talk. That would have been.
Yeah, I
good.
think I was. I was
shame.
on the most like obscure. I was somehow got into like I was like seeing all the like the window washing stuff, and I was like, I'm not into this. I don't know
Yeah.
how I ended up on window washer talk, but I was there
Yeah,
for a
well,
long time.
Like oddly satisfying. type
Yeah,
stuff.
like but like only windows. It was
Yeah.
cleaning windows. It
Well,
wasn't like oddly satisfying. It was cleaning
it's just-
windows. It
It's
was just
very
like
specific.
it was
TikTok is very
incredibly
interesting.
specific.
Yeah. But so I have been. So I did a chat with my cousins recently. One of whom is in Canada. Some of them listen to this podcast. Shout out,
Hi.
you know who you are. Thank
Yeah,
you
you
for listening
do.
to the podcast.
That's right.
But
That
while
was
we
like
were
a rap
chatting,
song.
we were all talking about books because my cousin in Canada has been reading a lot of books recently because he's had a lot more time while he's in Canada. So we were all doing book recommendations, and he goes, "Well, why don't we try and do another call in a couple of weeks, and everyone try and read something before then?" And I was like, "This is great. I love this. Boys supporting boys reading." But most of the spare time I spend now is reading books, which is a good thing to do, I find. But also, I find that sometimes when I'm reading things on a time frame, is I'm just reading it for the sake of it. And I think that happens with a lot of things, not just in terms of reading, but I think it's become very kind of... I've thought about it a lot more in response to what's happening with reading, is that you're just trying to finish things rather than actually experience them. And I think when you put time frames on things, which are important, but when you put time frames on things, you lose that joy of working on it and like taking your time with it, and not like, you know, you have that. There's no sense of rush, whereas otherwise it's, I need to get this done by this date, otherwise this is going to happen, so I need to finish it. And you're not, like, you might skip extra stuff, or you might not be paying full attention because you're more worried about finishing it on time rather than finishing it at all. And we've talked about this in response to, like, uni stuff as well, and it's interesting how, when I'm also thinking about the short film that I'm doing, I go, well, in any other production, it would have been delayed for 2 weeks because of my isolation period. But in this case, I can't use that excuse because it's due at the end of the semester. So, and now I'm having to rush it, and as a result, I'm not really enjoying it as much because it's now I have to finish it. You know, it's not like I want to do it. It's more like I have to rework it to fix these problems in order to, you know, continue. And I just it's an interesting thing in terms of time. Yeah.
That was just me making a noise to summarize the experience of that.
Yeah, I think it's a very good noise. Well done.
Sorry, I'm like scratching my mozzie bites constantly. So if you're wondering why I'm not like dying, I've just got like I was filming a thing on a night 2 nights ago, and it was late at night, and there were so many mosquitoes.
Yes, because we're getting into that weird, you know, wet type colder weather.
Yeah,
as
literally.
You know, I was thinking about this today, and I
mozzies.
was like, we're wearing t-shirts for the podcast. There's going to be a point where
thermals.
I didn't think about that. I went, oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to do what I did in the last
get
episode
hoodies.
where I put it on top of the hoodie.
We can get hoodies.
Oh, we can. Yeah, actually, that's fair. We can do that. I said hoodies, and I was like, you want to get specifically made custom
hoodies.
RnG hoodies.
No, that's too much money. But maybe a hoodie.
Yeah, get a hoodie. We can. We'll have a look at it.
Or we can just wear a hoodie underneath and put a shirt over the top.
Yeah, like what I did
what you did with the hoodies. Yeah, we can wear our giant. We can be a little.
It depends how cold it is, I guess. But yeah, it'll.
It's not too bad at the moment, but I was definitely chilly when I was putting the shirt on. I was like, I ain't gonna put that on its own.
Yeah, the winter blues. I think also that was kind of the same time. You know, winter blues.
Winter beginning.
Stuck inside.
The sun hiding away.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Oh, I miss summer. Is that a mozzie?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just sitting on the end. It's not a mozzie.
It's not a mozzie.
You blew it straight towards me. Thanks
it's
for
a little
that.
gnat.
Gnat.
What
do gnats do? Yeah, but what do they do?
Just exist.
Oh, okay. Like flies.
No, flies actually do stuff.
What do flies do? Exactly.
They lick everything. No, they vomit on everything.
Yeah, so? How's that helpful?
Imagine your sole purpose being going around and vomiting on other people's food.
Yeah,
like,
wow.
what kind of life
I
is
apologize to anyone listening to this while eating. Yeah, flies. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. This is why I like spiders. I've said it before. I'm a pro spider because I'm anti-fly. I'm not... Okay, actually, that's true. I'm not pro spider. I'm just anti-fly.
I'm just... I thought I could have a funny joke there, but my brain was thinking my brain was... My mouth was speaking faster than my brain could go.
Like it just was. Yeah. Wow. I was talking to people at the show about this because everyone was talking about how they feel as if they can't project as well as they've been like it feels as if everyone's like projection cap has been like lowered, and some of the cast were still recovering from COVID, myself included, and we were all talking, and I was like, actually, I don't know if it's just like getting the sickness. Getting down with the sickness. But I think it's also just the fact that over the past couple of years, everyone's used to a very lower level of speaking, if at all.
Yeah.
So now when we do get on stage, which requires a very high level of projection, we go, oh no, how do we do this? And like I get really hoarse very quickly. Like at the end of the last show, I was like, oh wow, I really should have paced myself better because like I was losing my voice.
Yeah.
You just what?
Just a quick pause. Did you hit play on that camera?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And just in my head, I realized I never hit play, and if I never hit play,
I hit play on all.
Sorry, that was a really rude interruption.
That's
but
okay.
It came into my brain.
Watch editor Aaron be like, it was at this point that they realized that the cameras were not working, and indeed. No.
It is in fact recording.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
No worries. I see flashing light on that one as well. No, I'm just staring really intently.
You're
at that one.
very fixated on the recording today.
I just wanted to make sure it was all recording.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I've had post traumatic stress from the Lego video.
But that went up. It worked.
It did. I know. I'm so glad that worked. I literally was so upset. Like that.
Was that the last thing we released? I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was the same week. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry about that. But that was a fun video. I'm glad that we've got all that in. There
was
some good jokes in there.
That was an
edits
iconic
in
video.
there.
We should do another funny one like that.
Yeah, you know what I find?
Yeah?
I have missed editing.
Well, there we go.
Having the podcast was such a great way for me to just edit every week.
Yeah.
And ever since we stopped doing the podcast, I've missed it.
Like I've been 2 weeks that we stole, 3 weeks.
Well, yeah,
but
also even over the isolation period, I wasn't
Yeah.
doing anything else, and because I couldn't film anything for myself, I was like, well, great. Well, I don't even have like that, and that I didn't realize how much this podcast is great for just like
editing.
helping that release.
Well, now
you'll
have it.
And I will. I'll be doing that tomorrow. I'm already going to do this, but here's a little bit of a preview. I'm going to do a video about how I edit it.
Oh, that's cool.
To be like, here, if you want to learn how to do it. So I wanted to show a little behind the scenes as to how I craft the podcast and put everything together for anyone who's interesting.
Fun. I'm excited.
It'll be longish, probably, but yeah.
Then I can watch the video and eventually edit one of our podcasts.
Oh yeah, there you go. So
it'll
if anyone out
hey
there
Ari, this is how you would do it if you ever actually wanted to do it.
Yeah, and so
I don't.
It'll be probably unstructured because it'll be like at any point I want to be like, I'm going to put this in here. Here's how I'm going to try and figure out how to do it. But yeah, so I think that's going to be fun because again, I'm always much about this sharing the process, right? That's what this whole thing is, the candid process about it. So it's good fun.
Yeah.
We did a little. Have we spoken about the more writing that we did on the show, or not?
I have no idea what we've spoken about in relation to the show. We can have a quick little chat about where we're at with the show.
I mean, it's just
the long story short is we had a fair few lines learnt. A lot of those have just completely vanished from our brains because we had another show on, and so we're probably gonna have to get a bit back on with the relearning process and. Yes, so we are reworking the script. We're fiddling through. I think we did talk about it now. I've started talking. I feel like we did have a bit of a chat about how we kind of wanted to make... I had that realization where I was like, I want to make sure everything that is in here is relevant.
Yep.
And I don't know, actually. Maybe this might have just been something that I said to you. I don't know if we actually said it on the podcast. And I kind of...
If we are, sorry. Too bad.
Yeah, I kind of came home one day and actually I saw another person's work and I came home and thought, I'm worried that all our writing isn't quite as strong as I thought it was, and a lot of it just feels like that it has no real. It's not. It wasn't. It's not all focused on what we like. It's not all saying what we want it to say in the best way it can be. I definitely worded it better when I talked to you about it.
Yeah, no, and this was post podcast. These people don't know about this.
Yeah. Like I don't know what but it was very much a realization where I came home and thought we're not doing the piece as much justice as we could be.
Yes.
A lot of it has been done and is dialogue and it's acceptable, but it's not I'm not ready to present it was what I the conclusion I came to. I was like, this isn't my best work and I don't think it's our best work. I think we can do better. And so we did rework a whole bunch of the dialogue, the scenes, the script and to an extent, I have a few more scenes that I think I would still want to do a few things for. But I'm feeling a lot better about the first few scenes that we've really reworked and now everything. Because I do believe I'm one of those people that I really do think that everything needs to be there for a reason. Yep. Every line, every comment, everything. Even if that reason is something like humor, that's okay. But then that humor really needs to land. It can't just be a throwaway thing. It can't just be filler. It can't just be content for content's sake. And I think that's what I started realizing. I think a lot of our bits, through no fault of anyone's, ended up just being content for content's sake. So we're in a good place though.
Yep.
Obviously, I think our production schedule probably is pushed out by a couple of weeks, if not more, just because of Aaron being an ISO and us having to take a break. And
being very busy.
Now both, newly full-time and uni stuff. But we're not completely far. We're not way out of left field. Probably
and
just push it back.
It's just
2 or 3 weeks from the from the proposed performance dates. Especially because Aaron's actually going away the week after our proposed performance date, so we'll probably have to push it a couple of weeks after that.
Yeah. Yes.
If you're still going away.
Well, we don't know yet.
No, but if you do go away.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, if that is a possibility.
In the event. Yep. So we will.
And then another one of my isolation what's the word? This
Revelation?
happens so yes, exactly.
Isolation, revelation.
In my head, I went, "There's gonna be a cool way to say this," and then it happened. I've been writing an essay all day today, and it's never. I don't think I've ever taken this long to write something. But for some reason, every time I go to write a word, I'm like, "Wait, what word am I thinking of?"
Yep.
And I'm like, "Bad synonym." No, that's
terrible.
Not it. Yeah, and
horrible.
And then I just use bad, and I'm like, whatever. I can't do this anymore. But yeah, one of my isolation revelations. That's very good. Was to do perhaps Faith. Our previous idea would work better as a short film, rather than as a theatrical piece. Mainly because of how kind of visual a lot of the elements were, and that was also in that point where I was looking up ways in which, future talks, and I was like, well, actually this would be really good. It would be a really good way for it. Basically, it's you and I in a field, and we can work around. We'll storyboard it, obviously, but like that's another thing we can do after the show, and use some money from the show to put into that to make that really good. And that could be something we can also share and submit to things, and that could be really fun. So we're kind of flipping it around, and it's not a useless idea now. It's just more, we'll rework it to work into a shorter, which I think is also better, a shorter, more visual component that we can then use to also try and go into the other fields that we do things in.
Definitely.
So I think that was also a really fun idea and thing that can happen. So yeah, our production is keeping on moving.
Trucking along.
Keeping on moving. So yeah, we went, how many? Yeah, see, here I was saying we're going to talk about the stuff at the start, and we're 42 minutes in. Sorry, everyone, but yeah, obviously this week we're still kind of getting back to form in terms of working on the things that we're working on. We wanted to prioritize getting a podcast out.
Yeah.
So we haven't really fully gone back into our production schedule just yet.
Yeah.
And we're still working on when exactly that's going to be and stuff like that. We'll work on some stuff after this, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's moving, which is the main thing.
It's moving
If working on all these things has taught me anything, and we're both very much these kind of people. You more so than me, is that you don't give up on stuff. Always keep things going, and
never give up.
It's the same with this book that I'm reading. That if not for this book club that I'm doing, I probably wouldn't have finished. Because I'm not so into it, but I'm like, no, I need to finish it for the sake of
so you can talk about it or whatever.
So I can at least feel as if I'm confident enough to talk about the whole thing. So that'll and I think that's important to think about it in terms of everything, that it's good to finish stuff because it also gives you a sense of accomplishment, right?
For sure.
Whereas if you keep things just unfinished over and over again, then you don't have that feeling of, I did this. I even when it got hard, I pushed through and I completed it, because it often gets to that point where you reach that kind of, this is actually getting tricky, and it's so difficult not to just say, especially when it's stuff that you don't like, that isn't your main job or something that you're paid for. You just go, is this really worth all the stress? Is it really worth all the trouble? It is. And if you can't remind yourself of that, which I know we all do, I'm reminding you of that now. Push forward. You'll get there. I promise you that you will. Yeah. Where's the freeze frame? Breakfast Club. Don't. Bang.
That was really, we had the same arm tilt perfectly.
Yeah.
It was like really like...
You've seen Breakfast Club, yeah?
Yeah, of course I've seen the Breakfast Club.
I have to ask.
Yeah, you're true. There's very few things that
you know what else? We watched Heartstopper.
Are we going to talk about that now? I feel like I need 2 hours to talk about that.
Oh,
Jokes, I don't. I just need to say that I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I cried so many happy and sad and all the tears.
Because I had read the webcomic as well, I think last year. And then while I was reading it, there was an announcement of the show, and I was like, very perfect timing.
Yeah.
Very, very delightful show.
It was like the perfect show where I'm at emotionally and all the things in my life that I won't disclose to the wider audience, but it was a very happy, sad thing to watch.
Non-disclosure agreement with all the other things you're doing. You've written a contract where you can't speak on them, or else,
To all the to my personal life, I wrote a contract to my personal mental health. I said I can't speak about this.
Sorry, brain, can't say that. Too bad.
This can't be disclosed. But oh my gosh, it was so beautiful, and the performances were amazing, and the decisions and the creative vision was so well thought out.
Yeah.
I love how subtle the storyline was.
It's also
how subtle the queer storyline was, and how non-preachy it was, and how it kind of just really hit all the nails on the head as far as like resonating acceptance goes to me, because it was like, we're not making a big deal of any of this.
It's just a normal romance story.
Yeah, well, and even with the, the trans side plot, if you will, like it wasn't made this huge thing. It wasn't a pity party. It wasn't, there for their sake. It was just, I think it worked beautifully as a piece of queer television, but also just as a piece of television, in all senses and all ways. Beautiful romance, beautiful everything, and I have every intention to watch it again because I cried so much.
Yeah, might rewatch it. Might give it some time.
Yeah,
just to sit on it for a bit.
Yeah.
Read the webcomic to anyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do that because I haven't obviously
read that.
It's free. Yeah, you said
you
that.
can read it online for free.
Oh my god, see!
It's great. Good reading. Aaron's quick movie corner. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Very good. Morbius, not. And I saw The Northman. It's hyper masculine, like to a point where I was like, oh, this is very like, like the whole movie. But it's very good. It's very well crafted and it's very historically accurate. It's like it feels like you're watching like an ancient poem. Like the feeling I would make it equivalent to. I would equate it to. Wow, that was hard.
I was gonna just help you there,
yeah,
but I thought I'd let you
Thank
struggle for a bit.
I appreciate that. See, I got
like,
to the hard
point
and I was gonna push through. I wasn't gonna give up. When we were in first year uni, one of our lecturers did a live reading of Beowulf that we went to go and see. It's like watching that.
Okay,
You're watching like a person tell an epic story that, even though it's new, it is like an ancient tale, and it feels very much like it has that reverence for it. It was a good movie. I liked it. And yeah, that's sorry. Aaron's quick movie corner is over. That's it. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Appreciate
we
your
need
time.
like an intro and outro for
I think you've said that last time, and again, I'm not going to do it.
Boring.
Well, I'm sorry. Maybe we'll do something.
Okay. Other than that, I have nothing more to add to this podcast. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I don't think so. I think that's enough. We just talked about it for a while.
I feel like we got through everything we wanted to get through as far as like our own lives, our own like apologies and all the things that are related to that. So I'm quite happy to wrap it up there if you are.
Now, this is the difficult part, right?
Yeah, I know. But we're not going to bugger it up this time because we're getting really good.
No, but it's not just that. We have 2 outros. Which one are we going to use?
Oh, I just didn't...
Also, I've just made this realization. I don't get to do my fun thing where at the end of the Spotify episode, I happily talk to the YouTube audience about how much we stuffed up the ending to the Spotify episode. That's not going to exist anymore.
Oh my
so
goodness.
I hope all of you, if you're interested, go back to the last episode we did and watch that bit again, because that's it. That's the last time you'll ever see that. I think it was the best one because I think I made a joke about it.
Yeah.
And now I'm making a joke about it again. But we have to pick an outro now. So which one are we going to do? Are we going to do the one that we end the YouTube for? Or the one
I think
the
Spotify because it's my personal favorite.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the alligator. I don't know where it came from or why it exists.
I think it was an improv thing.
It was
to
an
our
improv
Spotify
thing.
listeners, if you listen to a YouTube podcast, we ended it with
Catch you later.
alligator, which is a bit boring. But so let's not do that.
No.
And let's.
So instead, on that note, we'll.
I was waiting for you to say it so I could respond, but I forget that we say it at the same time. Okay, let's go.
And on that note,
we'll meet again.